So everybody, it's Amon here. Hope you guys are having a great day. Welcome to another video. So in this, we have the battle between two characters that are very different, very incestuable to their series slash universe in a way, as both of these characters are very ponderable and very, what's the greatest word I could use? Relative, you know? I would say super popular. Genji is a mischief and sensitive fan favorite, and it's very dope. You feel me? But at the same time, when it comes to just them as very insistable and cool characters, I would say that Genji goes in for the bag. And to get right to the point, this battle is between Genji and Jeff the Killer. And this battle is going to be very interesting to me. Go either way in my opinion, but at the same time, why I think whoever wins, you already know the deal. Just gonna get into it. So I already talked about Genji before and possible relative of everything you can do, small village level, great martial artist, skillful, keep up with Tracer, who move faster than the speed of light and travel times of 6 times, and portrait of a unpresentable type of incastive type of power, I guess, incastive. Like, because basically, she's basically able to draw an incessant amount of power and basically twin between the dimensional pulse of where she's able to basically contribute to, and is able to keep up with her and moves faster than light, and is also arguably timed to, and I guess you could say like infallible, not measurable or anything, because no, that would be cap. I'm saying in general, she moves faster than say an intentional amount of Sonic at when he's at a low point. So I just want to make that clear. You can keep up and react to those speeds. It's very fast. Has a lot of integral calibers in his body that basically allow him to basically distribute it and basically react and be very versatile and instinctual to basically his surroundings. Able to breathe underwater for a small time. Take very harsh and insensible temperatures. He has a lot of weapons. He's able to deflect most things coming at him from game mechanics, from arrows, bullets, missiles, etc. He's very fast and able to duel with different characters. And with his new attachments and his body and new incredible incentive like armor and very inquantable type of mass incentive to his like powers, he's pretty much able to control this incentive energy of mystical temperatures that basically run to beyond maximum heat to decimal 10, and this allows them to basically be able to cut from most things, objects, scent of metal, beyond pretty much normal comprehension. They would cut through typical alloys, they'll cut the Giantomic's hand, and it's very powerful indeed. It is using a basically natural Genji slash Genji at his highest peak power in Overwatch 2, unless his feats have been shown, as Genji is a warrior in his own way, and is a ninja, and is one of the greatest fighters in the Overwatch lore. It's very combative, and he goes for the kill most of the time when he needs to. It's brutal, vicious, silent, but deadly, and very central to his team. And he's a great character in my opinion, and he's one of my favorite characters in Overwatch. When it comes to different things involving his power, then pretty much Shuya turned to a cyborg after his brother killed him in a way. And near-death Mercy, aka Angela Ziegler, helped him near-death, and he has kind of a crush on Mercy, but are also an incompatible, insensible type of love interest triangle kind of going on. And it's not like a triangle of different things, but they have a triangular and central path to being lovers. What I'm trying to basically say is that Genji and Mercy as individual characters have a lot of points of insensible connections, love, and other possible and very feasible things to them that matter involving the characters as they are and other situations. But it isn't very sad or thought out that they would be lovers. But besides that, Genji is very versatile with his cyborg infected anatomy. He's able to control the dragon that's beside him as a Shimada dwelling type of past different generations type of thing. And supernatural sorcerers able to summon this big ass green dragon on some Naruto shit. Not saying that Naruto control Dragon, man, I just got into Naruto, so I don't really know. But anyway, when it comes to this, he basically fixates on this magical sorcery type of path where pretty much his dragon, like I said, separates that heat with energy and magical source. Very powerful with the dragon, it's super fast, separates his body, and basically boosts him up in power as a power balancing block, and is able to basically deflect and counteract a bunch of things, and it moves on different sensible levels. It's very fast, and is one of the fastest characters in the game, and is arguably in the top 5 most fast characters in the game. You can keep up a trace or move at a sensible and also kind of like a more industrial height, but at the same time isn't like a non-eventful type of character in own right, you feel me? And so it's just very imperative to how the characters are and what makes them who they are. So in general, when it comes to just what Genji can do, brings a lot to the table and is very honorable into what they do. And yeah, it's pretty much it for Genji. On a recap of his powers, I already went over him before, so I just want to make that clear. And I'm trying to say how many things I'm saying right, make sure you guys understand what I'm saying, and I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job at that. I just want to let you guys know that this is just the way it is with the characters and all that. But hey, we're done with Genji. Now we're going to talk about Jeff. Jeff the Killer. One of my most hated characters and a fucking disgrace. Unacceptably bland, bad, ridiculously and unnecessarily unconfidential, bad character from plot and some relevancy, and just is bad. It's bad character. Shit. Booty juice. Trash. Character is not good to any like height of power in general. Just a bad character every way. Brings nothing to the table. In my opinion, is shit in every type of way. Relevant plot. Has nothing to the table. It's random shit. Shit random out of category. And is just an unimplausible and unpresentable type of character to any present minority. The character is ridiculously complicated on kind of like what they can do or what is being presentable. I hope I said that right. Like what I'm trying to say is that the character is not very contrasting or very unique or very outside from the plans of horror or anything. It's a shitty character, unproximate type of personality or presentation, and it's not complex in my opinion. Besides how I feel about Jeff, Jeff is a very powerful person in general when it comes to his universe. He's very incentive, very complex and versatile in his own way. We're going to talk about him. So when it comes to the origin of Jeff the Killer and who he is, Jeff the Killer was a boy with a temper and very weird and very docile sense of thoughts. The Killer was a boy who wanted to just basically live life and defend his little brother Lou. But eventually, after a fight with the bullies in a new town that he went to and new problems coming up for sure, he was in a party and got into a fight with the bullies when he came back for the vengeance. And was poured over an oil in a fight and burned and was left for dead at that time. Some surgery and pretty much a Benson calling of life. He basically was pretty okay, but his hair was pretty much engulfed over in black hairdo, and it kind of was dyed like that after being burned partly from his body being changed that way, and his skin being basically turned to make him albino, but also basically pale and sensitive, and his body was changed. And he went more insane from this after losing everything and carved a smile, burned his eyebrows, come to his eyes, and did terrible things to himself and called himself pretty by killing his family and his brother Lou. His brother would later on survive after kind of a type of alternative trans and a demon possessing his body, or something more indefinitely supernatural taking over, and Jeff would become a monster forever. And Jeff, with that, would later on randomly get superpowers and become even more ridiculous. Okay, I want to just get this off my chest for a second. I'm turning up my music for a second, bro. First of all, if we're talking about how he got random superpowers, I'm not going to get too much on this because one day I'm actually going to get on this, like talk about it in general. It has never been confirmed where he got superpowers. The writer just made this up to be kind of basically conceptive to the plot, and that's fine. Because at first, when I first saw this, I was gonna give him a chance because in general, it makes sense if you want to have him find Slenderman, other supernatural beings, and being very indecent to everything. But like he exists in the same universe as Slenderman and other characters, right? You couldn't necessarily got power to power ooze and radiation and benefiting sentence. I don't know. Nigga couldn't have been possessed by a demon. And people say he is a demon. There's different versions where he is a demon. But the canon version of Jeff has never been said to be a demon. You're making that up if you believe that. And most importantly, it has nothing to do with Satanist shit. No. He has random superpowers for no reason. It's a never said, it's a never shown, and most importantly, it was out of nowhere. For no reason, my man Jeff the Killer has metahuman strength, super speed, a healing factor, can dodge bullets with the super speed, but in general, and most importantly, is able to hurt Slenderman just out the blue with a knife, no powers and something to that. Nigga can lift up a car, is getting chased by military soldiers, FBI, Central Security, supernatural people. Dude is keeping up with people that shouldn't be in the same classification. Like, wait, no, it doesn't make any sense. And I mean, I know this is his character and creepypasta voted on or basically implied and basically eccentrically created by different people, and you can do whatever you want, and it's random in general. But they exist in these universes that have the power. Why can't you just be consistent and actually explain it? He has superpowers for fucking no reason. No reason at all. He has superpowers. There's literally no actual reason. It's just there. Like, I'm not even trying to cut my hands a bunch or nothing. My bad. All I'm saying is that he has superpowers. They're scented. They're there. And then they're just gone. This out the blue. Nothing else is shown. He just shows them off. It's there for the plot. Plot relevancy. It's fucking plot armor. Basically exactly accelerated to extent. And this is all canon. Because if it wasn't, it wouldn't be said. It wouldn't be shown. It's stupid. It makes no fucking sense. This is why I hate Jeff. His inconsistency, and he's a bland-ass character. He makes no sense. This dude is able to fight off almost 4 bullies and fight off military soldiers with no deal. He has so many knives for no reason. Like, it kind of makes sense, but the dude got like a jacket full of knives. Like, what? Stop it. Please stop it. It don't make God no sense. It don't make no goddamn sense. It don't. It don't make no goddamn sense. It don't make no goddamn sense to plot relevancy. Because you're not explaining it, and the plot has nothing to do with that. You basically exaggerated it to basically so he can be more relative to other characters. Because, you know, goddamn well, Slender Man would body the fuck out of Jeff, and he did still, but Jeff was able to fight him. Somehow, some way. Like, what? I'm sorry, but I had to get that off my chest. That makes no goddamn sense. It's fucking retarded. It really is. It's stupid. It's stupid. This why? It's stupid. That's all I gotta say, bro. Man, when I get back on Jet the Killer, bro. After that, like I said before, random superpowers basically are implied to him. And he's able to fight Slenderman. Super speed is relatively faster than hypersonic to some extent. He's able to cut for Slenderman's tentacles, damage him. He's able to run super fast to the point where he basically tagged different characters. He took on Tiki Toby, dodged Masky, bullying prompting holes. He's able to fucking cock Masky right off the rip. He's able to fight his rival and counter love interest, Jane the Killer. He's been able to cope with different people. He cannot be harmed by mind attacks or insensitive soul attacks, depending on how they are basically acted or created, or basically advised to different beings and different things. He's able to keep up with different fighters with blades and weapons, and has been able to move to different sorts of speeds when it comes to different characters. He has a healing factor, can regenerate from almost any wound applied to bullet holes, tentacles to the body, was speared onto a branch, took a rock to the whole face like a big ass boulder, and a rock basically clocked into his fucking face. Like someone basically took a bunch of boulder like rocks and basically clapped them against his head, and his head was smirched, and it basically regrouped itself to its normal mass. And Jeff was just still smiling. He has a psychopathic adrenaline and killer instinct where he basically goes ham and does not play around with this. His cannibalistic side to it, and the more blood he spills, pretty much the more stronger he gets. He's able to cut through a bunch of different bottom machinery. He's able to cut through cages, SCP containment holders, and the crossover, which is where we're using this. We're not using all of it, pretty much using adult Jeff here, just making that clear. And as Jeff was able to cut from a military kind of gun that was able to almost take out Slenderman in one shot. So with him able to cut for that same alloy that is supernatural, invested with the strongest metals in this universe, that is very powerful. This means something to the durability, cutting strength, and attack potency, and considerable amounts of will and power and the force that's being applied into there, having him with indeed a punch or his running strength being something to arguably call an incentive explosion level, because of most of his abilities able to destroy that and making it explode and contracting it in small pieces just with a few swipe strikes. That's very powerful indeed if you do the math and calculate to a high sensible level of power. So that's pretty much small feats and greatest amounts of power that Jeff the Killer has shown. And Jeff the Killer is a very dangerous threat and does not play around. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So, in my opinion, just to go straight up in general, Genji, one, has more experience. Will be ducking and weaving on them. They'll be tit for tat moving speed, and Jeff is going to be cutting them up more and more. And it's going to be a lot more dangerous and very homicidal in a lot of ways, but not to the point where it's going to be out of characteristics or just very non-incentivable. You feel me? It's just going to be a lot more low in its taste or viability. You feel me? So that's just the way I see it. But in general, when it comes to everything that compares and assesses them, I feel like just in general, Jeff will be a little bit more linear and versatile in the scenario, cutting him up and being just a little bit more faster. But Genji will get in his own good hits. But Jeff, with his durability and his healing factor, is a lot more good. Now, his healing factor only applies to wounds and some things, but then else really been able to really more step him. He's been crushed by a tree before, kind of in a way. And they use super speed to get out the way, but his bones have been broken. He basically just re-cuffed them together and basically celebrates him a little bit more. So I feel like if Genji gets deep enough to cut one of his limbs, it's going to be hard. And when it comes to Jeff healing back limbs, it's very slow. Because when his whole hand was basically cut off, it took him fucking a day to grow back. So if he just cutting at his hands and gets up on him, Jeff is going to have a problem. And if it gets long enough into the fight, Jeff is really going to be wounding Genji. And if Genji's human parts of his body start showing, Jeff is going to be on his ass. He is going to be marking this nigga left and right. It's going to be done for him. He cannot do shit. He cannot do shit. It's simple as that. He's going to get fucked over a lot. Like, it's going to be done for him. Jeff is going to be looking for the body. And if it comes to enough, Genji is just not going to have anything. But I do believe Genji, with enough time and sensible, like, his courage and basically playing to his best and kind of his best in front of the feats, he'll be able to get the job done. But it's very one-sided way, because you have on one hand someone with better durability, better extensive healing facts, and a character that is just a lot more faster and compatible. But the one thing that Genji has that Jeff is not going to be able to get past is the dragon. The dragon blade. Samurai slice time. In the midst of the moment, Genji's going to pull out dragon blade and cut right through this nigga like a fucking piece of cake. In my opinion, Genji wins. Jeff is getting fucked. I'm a little bit fucking biased because I fucking hate Jeff. I hate his existence. But at the same time, I do believe he has a chance But as soon as Genji pulls out a Dragon Blade, it is a N no re. Jeff may be durable, but his knives aren't. His knives have been easily broken, and most of the time he carries like 100 knives, ironically. So he can have as many knives as he wants, but it don't matter. Genji's tearing through him. No cap. Simple as that. Simple. We ain't stopping a nigga that's been calibrating for a bunch of different metals and is way more better than you in that scenario. So he's dying. That's my personal opinion. But yeah, what do you guys think? Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I love y'all. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace out, Army. Genji's the winner.